Brothers and sisters in Islam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was a ruler of Medina and was a judge and was a fighter and was a governor of Medina. And also he was a teacher. Teacher, yes. And actually, if you look at the biography of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you will find that most of his life he spent it in teaching the companions. Even in really difficult situations. For example, in the beginning of his prophetic period, when he was in Mecca, he was getting like secret schools just to teach his companions Islam and Quran. Because teaching and Islamic education, one of the most important essentials of the Islamic society. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to teach the young companions. He had a lot of responsibilities, but he found the time to teach the young companions. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he said, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ once took my hand and put it between his hands, and he taught me the dua of at-tahiyyat lillah, salatu wa tayyibat, etc. Like he teaches me many surahs of the Quran. And Ibn Abbas, the cousin of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, said something like that. And Mu'adh ibn Jabal said something like that. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to spend a huge amount of his time in the mosque teaching his companions. And look at the results, look at the impact of this Islamic education. A generation of the companions who spread the message of Islam from the west to the east in several years. Brothers and sisters in Islam, why the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave the Islamic education such important and effect? Why? For many reasons, but I will mention only three. First one, to secure their lives, to secure the companions' life. Now I mean in the hereafter. If we say nowadays, if we say securing life, that means getting a good qualifications and then getting a good salary, secure a job, etc. Yes, these things are good and we should work on it. But the most important thing, to secure our lives in the hereafter. Sometimes we forget why we are here. And we forget about the reality of this life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us just to worship Him. And anything else is just means for the main reason, which is worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are here in this life only for several years. 70, 80, 90 years. Then what? Then we will move on to the hereafter. How many years in the hereafter? 70? 700 years? 7,000 years? No, it's forever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَعِبْ وَإِنَّ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْقَرَارِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this life is like passing enjoyment, quick passing enjoyment, and the real settlement, the real life in the hereafter. So, what's more important to spend time on preparing for? This life or the hereafter? You need to think about it, really. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants good for them, who will make them knowledgeable about Islam. مَنْ يُرِيدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. And the second reason why the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ spent most of his life teaching Islam and give an important job for Islamic education is what some of the intellectual Muslims call it the problem of third generation. What is the problem of third generation? Some of the intellectual Muslims say that minority Muslims who lives in non-Muslims countries, the first generation migrants, they know a lot about Islam, They have a great background of Islam. They are practicing well Islam. And the second, but for their children, they may not find good enough education for them. And for the third generation, they will be dissolved in the society and simulate other people. And I think this is not true actually. Alhamdulillah, what we are seeing here, that Muslims become more interested in Islam and more practicing Islam, walillahi alhamd. But however, we need to take this in consideration. We need to bear in mind these issues. The third reason why the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ spent most of his life in Islamic education, that Islamic education will guide us to the straight way to Jannah. Straight way to Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the way to his Jannah, to please him. So we cannot create a way from us that will guide to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we want to go to Jannah, we want to follow Quran and Sunnah. So how can we know that? By Islamic education. Some people, they want to get Jannah. They want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they may go to different way. And maybe they will go to the way of hellfire. For example, ISIS, Daesh. They would like to go to Jannah. But because of their lack of knowledge, lack of Islamic education, they get the wrong way. So, if we want to go to Jannah, follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, follow Quran and Sunnah, we need to get enough education about Quran and Sunnah. أسأل الله أن ينفعنا بما قلنا. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا بما فيه من الآيات والذكر الحكيم وقولوا ما تسمعون واستغفر الله العظيم. الحمد لله على إحسانه والشكر له على توفيقه وامتنانه. أما بعد, how can we achieve a good enough proper Islamic education? There are actually many ways, but I am just going to mention only 2 ways. First one, by educating ourselves and our families, in particular our children. We need to spend more time in studying our Islam, studying Quran and Sunnah, reading books. There are many Islamic books. How many Islamic books have we read? There are lots of lectures in internet by reputable Islamic scholars. Do we hear to them? How about our children? Do we teach our children? As I mentioned the first khutbah, that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ spent a great amount of his time teaching young companions. Ibn Abbas, the young companion of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he was only 7 or 8 years old. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he had a lot of responsibilities, but he found the time to teach Ibn Abbas. Don't say, I don't have enough knowledge, I am not really knowledgeable about Islam. No, don't say that. You have enough. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, بلغوا عني ولو آية. Convey my message even if it's only 1 ayah. Alhamdulillah, you know how to pray, you know how to perform wudu, etc. So why we don't teach our children? Sometimes we don't need to teach them directly. We can organize things for them. We can buy books, the stories of the Prophet for our children, to encourage them to read these things, to give them a reward if they read it. Also, rather than watching, for example, movies or TV shows together with your family, it's a good idea to hear Islamic TV shows, to teach them about Islam. The Prophet Muhammad said to the companions, do you like to get a good expensive camel for free in a permissible way, in halal way? And the companion said, absolutely, all of us would like to get that. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, if you go to the mosque and learn 2 ayahs from the Quran, it's better for you more than 2 camels. And 3 ayahs from the Quran, it's better for you from 3 camels. And so we can apply it in our life to learn 2 ayahs, 2 hadiths from Quran and Sunnah. Maybe it's better for you from material things, cars, etc. And so on for our children. And we need to teach our children and answer the questions which begins with why. We don't need to just ask our children to practice Islam, but also we need to convince them why they are practicing Islam. Yes, you should ask your daughters to, for example, to wear hijab, but why they are wearing hijab? Teach them. To make them really comfortable, really confident, very proud of their Islam. Absolutely, most of them will get questions from their colleagues in schools. Your daughters maybe will be asked in the school, why Islam is oppressed women? Do you think your daughters, your children, are able to answer these questions? Maybe some of them quite comprehensive and complicated answers, but at least give them simple questions suitable for their age. Teach them. Make them proud and confident about their Islam. The second way of teaching Islam, by enrolling ourselves and our children to Islamic schools and Islamic programs, Islamic classes. Alhamdulillah, many mosques here in Edinburgh, they have afternoon classes, Islamic classes, for our children and for adults. So why you don't join your children, or why you don't join these lectures? You'll get benefit. As I mentioned, that the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, go to the mosque to learn 2 ayahs, 3 ayahs. It's better than you from many material things. So just spend time to benefit yourself for the hereafter, to secure your life in the hereafter. And businessmen and women should support establishing full-time Islamic schools here in Edinburgh and otherwhere. Why? Because Islam cannot be only taught by course materials, classes, just like that. No, children need to get an Islamic environment. They want to see the practice of Islam. They want to practice Islam really comfortably. They want to have friends who share the same values of Islam. We need to give the feeling for our children that they are not strange. They are not different because of their values. So these things should be done. أسأل الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ارض عن الخلفاء الراشدين الأربعة أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وسائر أصحاب نبيك أجمعين والتابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا، اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وارزقنا علما وعملا وهدى وصلاحا يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا معلم إبراهيم علمنا، ويا مفهم سليمان فهمنا. اللهم زدنا علما، اللهم زدنا علما، اللهم زدنا علما. اللهم اهدنا لأحسن الأخلاق والأقوال لا يهدي لأحسنها إلا أنت، واصرف عنا سيئها لا يصرف عنا سيئها إلا أنت. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا ويسر الهدى لنا، اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا ويسر الهدى لنا يا رب العالمين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.